to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah,
Yes, indeed. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique together. We are capable of doing that. But we must be genuine in the building process. You cannot have one foot in the water and one on the sand. You have to either be in the water totally or on the sand totally. So we are calling patriots, genuine Grenadians, to come and build Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to welcome you wherever you are. Maybe you're out there in the diaspora. Maybe you're here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to say to you, today, it really dawned on me that this guy, who was badly beaten at the polls in St. George Northeast, has not truly recovered from that licks as yet. And I keep asking myself, but Ron, why you beat this guy for? Why you beat him so bad too? That is why what I kept asking myself, this Nimrod Oliver guy, he was badly beaten. He never expected Ron Redhead to beat him so bad. The guy was badly beaten. You're talking about more than 1,100 or so votes, or almost 1,100 or so votes. He got, that's Nimrod Oliver, he got 2,135 votes with all the money he spent in that constituency. Ron Redhead received 3,222 votes, almost 1,100 more votes than Nimrod Oliver. The guy cannot recover, badly beaten, badly bruised. So with all of that, they're hurt. And it is sad, because if you enter a race, one will win and one will lose, or you tie, a draw. But the election was free, fair, and the victory was sound. You're defeated badly. I know you spent a lot of money in that constituency, and you're living that bitter life. You're living in a bitter world. Shake it off and move on with your life. Stop it. Stop what you are doing. Stop it. I looked at a post because you see, they believe that Grenadians are stupid. Grenadians are screenshotting those stuff. So I want to ask, why is it that a person's driver's license, their private information, taken from a computer based on what is being circulated, it was taken from a computer with that information on it. It's not that somebody gets somebody's driver's license and decided to put it on Facebook or on social media. It came from the computer that this whole licensing thing, right, is on. It's clear. You don't need to be some big investigative journalist to know that. It came from a computer. And we can conclude that it came from that computer where it's stored. If you have seen it, it's a computer thing. It's not like somebody take it, they put it on the ground and they take a photo of it. No, 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 no. So that information came from within the Royal Grenada Police Force. And somebody needs to be made an example. I know there is a process as we speak. I know that action is being taken because we need to get to the bottom of this. How could you have your private information, your driver's license information, just uploaded like this on social media? And it's not that somebody get your driver's license and snap it, but it came from the computer in which it was produced from within the Royal Grenada Police Force. Something has to happen quickly. But you know, this came out after, either before or after, or it was well orchestrated, when a certain individual who goes by the name Augustine Pancho on Facebook, he says, it's a joke, eh? The man, and in bracket boy, just get his DL, and you know what that acronym stands for, has been driving illegally for years. And that's false. Then Nimrod Oliver wrote or responded to Augustine Pancho, are you sure he just got his DL? So all the years he was breaking the law by driving without DL? I can't believe. Did he get a waiver for his own? Sorry, did he get a waiver on? Did he get a waiver for his on the road driver's test, or he actually drove and was tested on the road? That's Nimrod Oliver, the guy who Ron Redhead bit badly in the polls. And Augustine Pancho is that creature, right, who was removed, right, as some kind of thing that he was at a particular facility receiving plenty cash. He was receiving plenty cash as a salary. So he missed that. He bitter, he's sour. But I am saying, folks, these are the people who used to play thing and people used to look up to, right? Ron Redhead, before the election and during the election and a little after the election, right, until he got his license itself, had a designated driver. A designated driver. And on umpteen occasion, he came at my place. He was out there in the field with me. I was out there with his designated driver. He never drove, right, illegally so. No. So they, meaning surrogates of the NNP, are out there giving people the impression that Ron Redhead drove on the road illegally or he was driving some vehicle without a license. The surrogates of the NNP giving the public that impression, and that's false. That's a blatant lie. So they tried the accident thing, and they never knew that there was video footage. They were caught with their pants down. They never knew that there was video footage to show, right? To show that this is what occurred. This is what took place. So they run them out, a lot of them run them out on Ron. And Ron, you have a lot of haters, huh? Because you beat this guy so bad. Those NNP supporters, they cannot get over that. They can't, and you're young. How could you beat this old fella that bad? And normally you would be firm with Keith Mitchell in the parliament. So they vex, they bitter, they angry. And you're an intelligent young man. So they know what's going down. So I am saying they never expected the evidence to be on the table like this. They never ever expected that. They thought, well, nothing existed. So they could bomb the gum, they could backfiring on the NNP. So you look at all the videos, because I uploaded the video, Junior George did a piece, and other entities did some stuff with it. They uploaded it. And the comments have been very positive towards Ron Redhead. And people are able to see. But you know, tonight, I looked at GBN News. And somebody has to call out GBN News. You can't tell me that you're doing a story about this accident and where the actual thing took place, the actual accident itself, you're not featuring that. But you're going to feature after, where the young man went and sit down. How is that right? That's wrong. That's not good journalism. Somebody has to call out GBN on this level of nastiness. So you at home watching this thing is left thinking that Ron is wrong because he did not actually see. And the evidence is there to show that Ron was correct. He was right. He was not wrong in this situation. But they blur the thing. It's amazing. They blur the thing. They hide it. So you couldn't actually see the actual accident and what took place, But they were narrating it, saying stuff, but they never said that the gentleman fell from the vehicle, right? And he skidded towards Ron's vehicle from the bicycle. But instead, they say, well, the gentleman will have to wait to go to school. What's to that effect? Some month or so he has to rest and whatever to recuperate to go to school. What is this? GBN has become, to me, as a piece of rubbish. That is why people don't look at that news. Like before people used to look at the news, but they don't look at the numbers. GBN numbers is extremely poor, extremely poor. But if the government has stake in that entity, they need to pull up, because I think they have a rep on the board of directors. They need to pull up GBN on this level of lawlessness, in my belief. This is wrong. So you put this thing out there and people are wondering, but what really happened? They see the young man come from the road because you blur where the accident, the actual thing took place, right? But you have clear video footage of where he came from the road, sat, and it's okay with him on his end. Come on, you don't do these things. GBN, you come last, dead last. And that is why your ratings dropping like, come on, like bud shit. It's dropping like bud droplets. You got to stop this. Stop it. Somebody needs to call them out. Because people with sense would say, but wait, why would you bring a news item like this, and then you just blur that? What is your intention? What you're hoping to achieve? But folks, I am not surprise. Because when that situation occurred, the kind of comments, the kind of reporting we got on this particular matter, boy, if that video footage was not available, Ron, I would have been out here every single day trying to defend Ron. I'm telling you, if that video footage didn't come out. But thankfully, with good investigative journalism, Junior George, his producer, was able to get that video footage and release it, circulate it. And we were able to see in real time what took place. So they can't hide. But if that video footage was not available, I tell you, based on what happened so far, and the comments and the feedback, and after when the video came, they shut up, they deleted comments and so on like crazy. Achieving their goal of painting him bad, they actually helped him, because this situation helped the Honorable Ron Redded significantly. People now see how genuine, how sincere he is. He didn't drive off. He came back, he stopped, took the child, bring the child to the hospital. He took the bicycle from the road, put that on the side, took his slippers, carried him to the hospital. Stayed there up to 11, after 11 o'clock. And there were 3 police officers who passed by to Mako, thinking that something dramatic happened, to report to those obstructionists. And we know the names of the 3 police officers, and they have to be disciplined. They have to be disciplined, those 3 police officers. It's as though they're on a crusade to undermine the government. So you have Ron's personal data and information being released, being leaked from the Royal Grenada Police Force itself. That's where this thing came from a computer with the information regarding license. It's just sad. And then you had on that very night 3 police officers, right, who actually came there, and they might be responsible for leaking all kind of misinformation, spreading all kind of misinformation about this particular matter. But when the video surfaced, every single thing gone quiet. Everybody, all of them who were critical and saying all kind of nasty things, they get quiet. And a lot of them actually deleted their comments. Deleted their comments. They're afraid because lawsuit will happen where those things are concerned. It will happen. The level of lawlessness is too much within the Royal Grenada Police Force. Those NNP supporters who are police officers, they must be disciplined. They have to. You have police who supporting NNP and they cannot do their work professionally. So only mischief alone they need to make. You have traffic wardens, same thing. You have to put your foot down on these people. They have to be disciplined. Do your work professionally. And that is why I decided to set an example. You remember when I was wrongfully arrested, right, and falsely imprisoned for crossing the road? There, when this dunce police officer, backward police officer, decided to arrest me wrongfully. And not only that, I was transported in a marked police vehicle to the Central Police Station. So from the bus terminus police station to the Central Police Station, and placed in the cell, placed in jail, and then given bail. The matter was carried, was brought before the court, and it was dismissed because of lack of evidence, right? Because I was charged for obstruction of traffic, as though I'm a vehicle walking across the sidewalk, the pedestrian crossing, and obstruction of police. Well, they later investigated and realized I did not even touch the police, and they removed that charge. So I am now, in fact, I initiated the process of seeking $95,000 compensation from the government of Grenada, because I am not a joker. I don't just talk this. I am a popular talk show host, and they have damaged my good name and reputation by wrongfully arresting me and falsely imprisoning me. So I have initiated that, and I hope it can be resolved amicably. So I wrote to the Attorney General seeking compensation of $95,000 from the government of Grenada for that, for the conduct of that police officer. What he did, he damaged my good name and character, and they must pay. They must be made to pay. I also copied that letter to the acting commissioner of police, Don McKenzie. I am seeking $95,000 in compensation. In other words, PC 57 Charles, he must learn from that, and the Royal Grenada Police Force must learn from that experience. You don't wrongfully arrest a person or falsely imprison a person. So they will be made, they will have to pay. And I hope Ron can do a similar thing with those individuals who are slandering his good name and libeling him. It's libel and slander, because some of writing as libel, speaking, spoken words, slander. That's important. So again, saying, I thought I should let you know that I have initiated the process. I waited because it is so important to assess. So I was assessing the damage that was done to my good name and character. And I have concluded that they must be made to pay $95,000 for the damages caused to my good name and character. You have to learn. You can't do this. Just arrest a person, throw them in the jail. The matter goes before the court. You have no evidence, and they just throw it out, and that's it. No. No way, Jose. they must be made to pay. So I expect the Honorable Attorney General within the next 14 days to respond to my letter, and failure to do so, I will advance the matter for compensation before the court. But it is my hope that it can be amicably resolved and that compensation can be forthwith. So I thought I should let you know that as we converse about the bad conduct of the police, the bad conduct of some police officers, and many of them, it's like the last job they could have gotten, and they ended up there. The conduct is undesirable and terrible. How could a person's private information, right, could just be thrown out there, coming from the computer that you produce these things from? How could that be? How? How is that possible? I really want to know. How is that possible? But that is the level of lawlessness and slackness that exists within the Royal Grenada Police Force. Sad to see. You have some good police officers, but oh gum, you have some police officers as though that's the last work they could have gotten. Sad. Very, very sad. But this too shall pass. So far, out of this particular situation, the Honorable Ron Reddit is even stronger, more loved, more liked by the Grenadian people, because people saw his humanity on display. Another driver could have easily just say, well, you're wrong. The cyclist, you're wrong. And let's call the police. But Ron displayed his humanity, his love for a human being. He decided to take him and bring him to the hospital. And what I love about Ron, when I called him on that very day, he told me exactly, even before I saw what transpired in the video, he told me exactly what the video showed. I didn't see the video at that time. Huh? There was no video in existence at that time. But he was honest. And that is what I love. He was honest enough to tell me the exact thing that the video depicted thereafter. And you see, that, I respect that. If you're honest and real with me, I'm down for you. I'm telling you, that is what I love. So he, out of this, is coming out stronger and better. So all the haters, all those who are wishing bad, and he has to assess now, because you see, there are a lot of people who dislike this young man because of the leaking he put on his opponent and other things too. And that is why some of the boards that he's responsible for, he has to clean up those boards and remove some of those NNP elements on some of those boards. Remove them. They became directors on those boards, but you are the line minister. You're in charge. Remove them. There's a lot of them on those different boards who are NNP, non-NNP supporters. They have to be flushed out. Different departments and so on. You have to do that. Show them who's in charge, because they will remain there and undermine you. And they are part of the hating bunch and crew, you know. Believe that. So again, everything you can learn from it. You can use it as a learning curve. But folks, the NNP is trying extremely hard to distract us from, one, the confusion that's happening within the NNP party between Peter and Keith Mitchell and the others. You don't realize Sunday gone, KB was not on that program. Up north, they bring Panames on the program instead. You don't realize that? Yeah. Because they wanted KB to say X and say Y, and they say, well, we set in conditions. You can't criticize NNP. you can't criticize Keith, you can't criticize the whole convention or openly talk about these things. So they set certain conditions for him. In fact, I called KB, my good partner. We might be on different sides, but I called him to find out, well, what happened to you? And then he indicated to me, boy, they set certain conditions for me, and KB decided he's not going to accept it. He's not going to accept those conditions. He's no puppet on a string. So he decided that's it for him. Right? But that's how they operate. Whoever pays the piper calls the tune. That's how they operate. Don't fool yourself. And that is why I call on the government to assess, evaluate those radio stations who are given sponsorship from statutory bodies and government, and cut it. Cut these sponsorships. Cut it. Because you cannot have a radio station receiving thousands of dollars from statutory bodies, from government, right? In sponsorship for this and sponsorship for that. And they bad talking you every day. They're not talking about any good thing that's happening in the country. Only negativity and going after you. Cut it. If Grenlec running ads there, cut the damn ads. Cut it. If Nawasa running ads there and programs there, cut it. If the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority running ads there, cut it. If Lotto running ads there, the Grenada National Lotteries Authority running ads there, cut these ads. Gravel and Concrete, cut it. Housing Authority, cut these ads. Ministry of Health and different ministries, cut those ads. You have to instruct those chairmen, the chairpersons of those different boards, to have it removed immediately. You have to take charge. Do not feed the beast. You're feeding the beast to undermine you. That is exactly what you're doing. It's like you're feeding the snake to come back and swallow up your whole family. Do not feed the beast. Cut it out. Cut the ads. Let it find somewhere. Let those who are funding them with a little pittance give them money to keep the nastiness going. You have to do that. Because remember, when I, your humble servant, was out there doing my programs, not an ad under the NNP administration could have come to me on my program or the radio station that I was on. Not an ad, not one ad. Before, during the time that I am on. No, it couldn't happen. So why now it's different? This damn stupidness has to stop. Why now it's different? That these people are on radio going after the government head every single day. And statutory bodies are paying for the airtime to keep them on air. That rubbish has to stop. If you don't have the political sense, let me put it in your head. That stupidness has to stop. Immediately it has to stop. Some of those statutory bodies, they cut some of those sponsorships already. But you got to cut all. Every single one of them. Not a program should be on their on a station. That has to happen. Because you're feeding the beast. You're giving them the strength to come back and go after you and your government. They're not talking anything positive about what's happening in the country. Only Kem Jones. Only Kem Jones. I'm the only person out here highlighting the positive things that are happening with this government. All they do on their programs is bad talk the government and go after the government. You got to cut these sponsorships. Because that is what keeps them going. That's the lifeblood of the radio stations. You got to be firm. Cut the damn thing. Let them ball. Because they have these characters on their stations, bumping gum, saying all manner of nasty things about the government. You know, amazing, folks. And I'm firm where that is concerned. Let me tell you something. The incident occurred in Willis. On yesterday's program, this creature.
Guys, run. Take responsibility for once in your life. Run. Take responsibility for once in your life. Because you're too disrespectful Every time you end up in parliament and the leader of His Majesty's opposition, you always sit down, hush your mouth, all kind of thing. Open your mouth now. And the police, I want to see what I'll go do with that accident, you know. Because GIS, I'll say nothing will happen. But what about the would-be fracture of the hip? You're talking about man coming down and they fall and roll on the vehicle.
Yeah, that's who's that guy? Who's that piece of mess? Who's that piece of thing? How you call him again? Used to be in the police force, and I don't know what happened to him thereafter. That piece of nonsense. You know, but I'm saying that these people, they're on radio, they're on programs bashing government. Look, without evidence, you know, without the actual video footage. Boy, if that video footage didn't come out, they would have been saying all manner of nasty things against the Honorable Ron Redhead. But God is at the middle of this. He survived. He survived all the attacks. He came out on top based on what he did with this particular situation. He came out on top. His rating gone off the roof. But it's amazing. Amazing, folks. And it shows the hatred that exists among the NNP supporters and among some people who pretend that they're NDC. A lot of hatred. I'm telling you, a lot of hatred exists among the NNP supporters and a lot of them who pretending that they're NDC. They bitter, they sour, they praying for somebody's downfall. You don't pray for nobody's downfall. Learn. Learn from it. Because it could happen to you too. That could have happened to any driver on any given day on the road. Any one of them. But don't worry. Ron is stronger. Today he posts that he went to the hospital with the mother and family and he was able to carry that young man home safely home, which is really good. And I love that. And he will forever stand with that young man to make sure that everything is A-OK. He spoke to the grandmother, he spoke to the family. And you know, out of that, Ron might get even more votes. I'm telling you, because people are getting to appreciate him more and more. See, this young man, he's genuine, he's sincere. Another person could have easily just leave the young man there, call the police, leave him in pain, and because they know they were not wrong. But he didn't do that. He brought him to the hospital so that they can take care of him, attend to him. That is important. And Ron carrying him there would cause them to work even more on this young man. And yes, we know there are some nurses and doctors and so on who are NNP. We know that. And they would put information out there, channel it to NNP, surrogates and so on, that are totally false. We know that. But the video footage says it all. The video footage exposes those pundits and surrogates who are saying all manner of stuff and never see people delete comments. So, you know, within a short space of time when the video came out and they realized what they saw, they went and they deleted a lot of the comments. Thankfully, some people were able to screenshot some of the comments. That's how nasty they are. They are. But it should be a learning moment for all of us. A learning moment. All right? And we need to understand that the video, the technology, that is what is required. The evidence. It's not on the table. The evidence is there. Cannot be disputed. It's amazing, boy. Amazing. Grenada, you know, somebody said, as though you have some Grenadians who cut out the slippers from Jesus Christ feet, you know. Yeah. There's some people because folks are saying, but you seen the video, you're watching what took place, and you still want to blame the minister. because he's a minister and because he beat a certain man in the polls, he beat him in the election, and all of the hotting still. Those NNP supporters, they hotting bad, you know. Bad. They hotting bad. But Ron has to make them an example. And I told him, I said, brother, you need to advance some lawsuit against these people. They have to shut up. You have to teach them a lesson. Sue them. Sue them. Look at me. I look, it's clear cut, you know. I remember when WeFM, somebody called the WeFM Plead Your Cause program and say certain things about me. I sued the radio station and the host of that station, of that program, and I dragged them before the court. But the radio station settled, paid the lawyer and so on, and apologized and all that kind of stuff. And the host decided he go press on. When he reached before the master, as case management and so on, then he decided, well, he go settle. So he had to now pay more to my lawyer and apologize and apologize and apologize. I could have pursued a lot of money from them. But I say, you know, I'm in the business of radio and so on. I would not go down that road. And I know Desiree, pretty okay. She's a nice person, on the manager of WeFM, right? But with the police guy, I am seeking from the state $95,000 for wrongful arrest and false imprisonment. I am a popular talk show host in Grenada, right? Very popular. You don't mess with my good name and reputation and think you will get away with it, you're mad at what? And the sad part is that when them police and them mess up, who has to pay? Taxpayers. We taxpayers have to pay. That's what's sad, you know. And that is why I copied that said letter to the Commissioner of Police. It's important. So you can understand some of these police officers, they will cost the state hundreds of thousands of dollars with the stupidness that they're doing. It's really sad. But folks, today was the first day of school, and I want to commend, I want to applaud the teachers, I want to applaud the students. You know, you looked sharp, very, very sharp today, and I hope you can be disciplined in going forward, because that is what we want to see. Discipline, respect your teachers, respect your peers, respect the folks who you will come across on a day-to-day basis. That's important, very, very important. Because you see, respect is what we want out here. If we have respect, we would be a more decent society. So don't cuss your parents, don't cuss your peers, or fight, or do anything that would cause shame on your family, on your household, or your school. You go to school to learn and go back home, make your parents proud. That is what you go there to do. Learn and go back home. Don't follow friends that would lead you astray. Always remember that. Don't follow friends that would lead you astray, because you're not going to see them when you end up in problems. They normally vanish. So go and hide. So I urge you, please listen to your teachers. And teachers, do not choose that student over that student. Teach all the students well. Do not be curry favor, as we would say it, because that parent has money or that parent is popular. You're treating that child this way and that child the other way. Treat all of them the same way. Teach all of them, because you want them to learn. There are some who will be slower than the others. Look for them. Don't leave them behind. That's important. So let me play for you the address, well, a short message from the Honorable David Andrew, Minister of Education.
Guardians, teachers, fellow Grenadians, it gives me great pleasure a sense of pride and optimism to address our students, parents and guardians, teachers, principals, and school administrators as we embark on our new school year 2023-2024. The reopening of a new school term is an exciting and crucial time for students, parents, and educators alike. It holds significant importance for several reasons. Firstly, it is a fresh start. The new school year offers students a clean slate and a chance to make a fresh start academically and socially. They can leave behind any past challenges or setbacks and approach the year with renewed enthusiasm and optimism. Secondly, a chance to set achievable goals and new targets. This is an opportunity for students to set new academic and personal goals. These goals can provide motivation and direction for the year ahead, helping students stay focused on their aspirations. Thirdly, preparation for the future. Each school year brings students closer to their educational milestones and eventual career paths. My government is particularly excited about this new school term as we have implemented several measures that will benefit all of our young people. Government has established its free tuition policy. This policy will allow all students of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique to further their education beyond secondary school. We have removed all tuition fees from pre-primary, primary, and secondary schools and now tertiary level institutions like the T.A. Marisho Community College, TAMCC, and the New Life organization, NULO. Thousands of our young students are currently enjoying this policy decision of government as it opens the gate for more of our young people to access learning and will ease the financial burdens of our parents and guardians. Added to this, government has received approval from the UNESCO-funded TVET policy, which features transformative elements such as the Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET expansion program in selected primary schools, which was launched on May 9th, 2023. The reintroduction of the sixth form and centers of excellence in selected institutions, and the drafting of legislation to mandate the extension of the school age to 18 years. Another key initiative that we are especially excited about is the introduction of Grenadian history in the upper primary and lower secondary levels of our school system. Incorporating local history into the curriculum helps create well-rounded, informed citizens who appreciate their community's past and its role in shaping the present and future. It is about time that this became part of our children's learning experience for many reasons. Cultural identity, number one, to help students connect with their community's roots, fostering a sense of belonging and cultural identity. Two, contextual understanding. Knowledge of our country's history provides context for broader historical events, helping our students better comprehend national and global narratives. Three, preservation of heritage. Learning about history encourages the preservation of historical landmarks, traditions, and artifacts. And four, critical thinking. Analyzing local historical events fosters critical thinking and research skills which are transferable to other subjects. As a government, and particularly the Ministry of Education, we are keen on ensuring that our young people have the opportunities they need to further their learning while building a career for the future. Whether this be in the technical, sporting, or science field, we will continue to partner with our local, regional, and international counterparts to secure scholarships and other educational aid to give our people a chance to develop themselves and, by extension, this beautiful land of ours. In closing, I want to encourage every student, parents, and educators to see this new school year as an opportunity to grow, learn, and to make the most of every moment we spend in the classroom. To our students, I want to emphasize the incredible potential that lies within each of you. You are the future leaders, innovators, and change makers of our world. Remember that education is not just about acquiring knowledge. It is about building character, nurturing curiosity, and fostering a passion for lifelong learning. As you step into this new term, I encourage you to approach your studies with enthusiasm and determination. Set clear goals for yourselves, both academically and personally. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Seek help when needed, and collaborate with your peers. Education is not a solitary journey. It is a collective effort, and we are here to support you every step of the way. But let us also remember that a school experience is not just about grades and exams. It's about building friendships, discovering your interests, and exploring your talents. Get involved in extracurricular activities. Engage in community service, and challenge yourselves to step out of your comfort zones. To our dedicated teachers and staff, your commitment to nurturing these young minds is commendable. You play a very vital role in shaping the future by imparting knowledge, instilling values, and serving as mentors. Your dedication does not go unnoticed, for it is the cornerstone of our educational institution. Together, let's make this term one filled with inspiration and success. Here's to a fantastic new school term filled with learning, success, and endless possibilities. I thank you.
The preceding was an address by Minister for Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable David Andrew, to mark the start of the 2023-2024 school year.
Right, so folks, you heard it there from the Honorable David Andrew. Kudos. I want to wish my good friend Leonora Augustine or Theresa Batson happy birthday. I know today you had a fantastic one. Big up your whole self. You're a little darling. Continue to do what you're doing. I pray that God will give you long life, health, and strength, and most importantly, peace. Because that is what we all strive for, peace in our life. And once you have peace, happiness will come, good health will come, everything else will come. And peace can only come from God Almighty. I want to say to you folks, we have to remain focused because the NNP, they're trying to distract us. That is exactly what they're trying to do. They're not succeeding because we continue to highlight the positive things that are happening within the government. Because you see, the NNP, they hope to have a convention sometime in the future. So they've ramped up their misinformation, their disinformation, and the ignorance. So we have to be conscious of that. All right? Folks, go out there and support the Florida NDC chapter with the gala.
Grenadians and friends of Grenada in South Florida, our beloved political leader and Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, is coming to celebrate with us at a grand gala on Saturday, October 14th at the luxurious Floridian Ballroom in Pembroke Pines. The occasion will mark the first anniversary of the NDC Florida chapter. Prime Minister Mitchell will be delivering the keynote address outlining his vision for the development of our beautiful Tri-Island state. Meet and greet the distinguished Caribbean leader. The gala starts at 7 p.m. with a cocktail hour followed by dinner and dance. Tickets to the gala is only $200 and are available from any member of the NDC Florida chapter or online at gotofed.com. Proceeds towards the construction of the party's resource center and other programs of the chapter. So get your tickets now for the NDC Florida chapter inaugural gala, October 14th at the Floridian Ballroom, Pembroke Pines, Florida. You can't afford to miss it.
Right, so folks, please support the Florida NDC chapter with that gala. I know it will be successful. Go ahead and buy the tickets on gotofed.com. All right. My good friend Julie Bettel or Julie Finch. Well, Julie Bettel / Finch. Julie Bettel Flinch. Kathleen, what's it? Kathleen Belma or Kathleen Barkley Stephen what? Don't worry about that. I know all you enjoying a big time oil down out there. Glenroy was he. Everybody in that house enjoying that big time oil down. Big up all your whole self. Labor Day is almost over. I know you all had a fantastic time. All our Grenadian brothers and sisters out there in the diaspora. Big up all your whole self. Folks, I have to pull on the curtain now. I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful night. Take good care, peace, and love. I'll be back tomorrow, God's willing, on the journey, boy. Remember, this is a journey. We're not going to cease. We're not going to give up. We're not going to burn out. We have to continue to highlight the positive things that are happening in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. We got to promote our party, promote our government, defend our party, and defend our government consistently.